All right, y'all, we are back. All I'm gonna do is do an oil change on this thing. I got everything peeled away from it. The oil on this thing is literally almost black as night. A little bit of color left in it, but it's mostly really dark. Hasn't had the oil changed in it for a year and a half or so. It doesn't get driven much, but all the cold starts and whatever, I got quite a bit of fuel that's you know, collected over time in the oil, so I need to change it just so I could be pulling it in and out. I've got everything kind of just exploded. Of course, Christmas stuff. It's December. It's almost December 1st. It's November 29th when I'm recording this. Got all of our vehicles here. This thing still needs a little bit of work, but it just runs and runs. This thing, of course, still need to figure out the fuel cap. When a tank sloshes, fuel just dumps out. So I got to probably get an aftermarket tank. And then, of course, the old 250XR. It's kind of just waiting its turn. I spent pretty much my budget on parts and just random stuff for these toys this year. With everything going on, we're just kind of, you know, of course with Christmas coming up too, just not a whole lot of extra money to be thrown around, but got my grill. I was able to find a brisket point at the store. I'm gonna do a brisket point on that thing, probably take 5-6 hours. I haven't done a whole brisket yet. It'd just be really difficult on the Weber. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do, it's such a low bridge here. Sorry for the walking around here. What I'm gonna do is just drain the oil by just kind of reaching it. You can see my drain plug right there, straight ahead there. I'll be able to reach under there and drain the oil at least. And then once it's fully drained, well, in fact, I could just jack up the front since the drain plug's at the rear there. But normally if your drain plug was on like the side or something, or maybe even the front, and this thing's so low, it would take a while to get all four, you know, get the whole thing up in the air. Look how low my air pump line is. Jeepers. You know, you obviously have to have it level for all the oil to drain out properly, but this thing I could just get away with nosing up the front, and that's probably what I'm gonna do. It'll just make everything easier. All the oil will drain back and come out, so I'm good to go there. So let's get the front of this thing up in the air. Alright, change this oil. Trying to get the best shot here. It's hard to see in this GoPro screen, but pretty straightforward, guys. I'm just trying to do a better job at filming complete things, like not be so lazy with the camera, basically. Alright. I'd like to figure out some sort of an intro I could do. Would be cool. Yep, I need to, oops, I need to get a wrench in this one. It's been a while since I worked on this thing. And this thing still needs a clutch. Just like I was saying, it's just not important. I'd like it to be important. But it's just way low on the priority list. I'm glad I got this thing back. I think the very next scene in this video, I will it'll be a still frame of the picture of this thing. Sorry if this hits the camera, this light. I gotta see what I'm doing here. Yep, I got more valve cover leaks. It's not bad. This thing doesn't get driven hardly at all. It's doing just great. Hey Chase, I'm recording right now, bud. What do you need?
No, I'm just gonna grab something.
A what?
I was just gonna grab grab my thing.
Your what?
My. Never mind.
Alright. Okay. He's probably wanting his trombone or something. Okay, we got the oil draining. I'm gonna let this sit for quite a while. Alright, got our oil filter. Alright, same thing. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera off. Let me come over there. I honestly don't know what he was after. I wasn't trying to shoo him away or anything. Alright, so we got our oil black as night coming out there. Not too bad. Could have been worse. I need this light to be like this so it doesn't blast this big ol' freaking thing here. There we go. That's probably where I need to be actually. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and hit stop. When it's done draining, I'm probably gonna let it drain for like 20 minutes. I haven't had this thing running in a while as well, so all the oil is down at the bottom here, so it shouldn't take too long. I'm gonna get the oil filter down so we can drain this way too, and get this thing done, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put that back like that. Let me drop that oil filter really quick. And I'm just gonna throw it in the... I'm gonna get my safety glasses to work. Alright. I need to do more videos like this where I'm literally working on stuff while I'm recording, because it's just... I think, number one, I like watching people do stuff because it means I'm not doing it. But I think it provides a better experience anyway as well, in case it is a how-to video, which I try to do. But like with this clutch, that'll be a fun video. I'll have it up in the air. I gotta get the Corvette up on big old blocks of wood. In fact, the blocks of wood are probably 1.5 feet by 1.5 feet, something like that. And get this thing up high enough to where I could, when I remove the transmission, I can actually slide it out from under the vehicle, because this thing's so low to the ground. All right, I got the oil filter pretty much drained out. All right. Ooh. Get this over here so it can finish drip drying. Just do this one here. There we go. Whoops. Alright, that'll do. Alright guys, let me get this turned off. Again, the next scene, in fact, I don't know, I'll save it for the last, because I'll tell a little bit of the origin story in this Corvette. I think that's gonna be the point of this video. Oil change and origin story. But I'll work on getting better camera angles here. Over and out. Pretty much ready to go. I got a little bit of oil here. Normally I use Wix filters. I always like to use factory stuff when I can. This is a PF454. AC Delco, of course. And the oil I'm using, I used to buy Mobil 1 at Costco when it was on rebate, and that was pretty much the best deal I could find. Other than that, well, Walmart. I know Amazon has a brand of oil now. I'd be willing to try that, but when this Kirkland stuff is on rebate, it's literally the best deal. So I've got, try to keep enough of this in stock just for... All right, I have no idea, it just shut off on me there. So, I don't need to do this rather than pouring that into the cap. I got that going here. Corvette. I really do love this thing. I'm just taking care of my family, making sure everybody's, everything's taken care of. This Corvette's kind of last on the list, as I've said. I'm gonna do this hopefully to get a little bit better shot here. And of course, I'm just screwing the oil filter up. I think if I brought this on the other side, it would be an even worse shot. So let me just finish it up here. Oh, let me grab a rag. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Just had Thanksgiving the other day here. Like I said, it's Sunday. It's Sunday, November 29th when I'm recording this. This probably won't be released for another month or so. I kind of have a queue of videos that I'm getting out slowly. Mainly because I'm so busy just with other stuff. So when, of course, you know, anybody watching this that hasn't done oil change before, when you spin off your oil filter, you always want to make sure the stud that it spins onto is tight and your base plate is clean. Mainly what you're looking for in the base plate is that the rubber seal came off with the oil filter rather than not. I used to work, one of my first jobs was at Jiffy Lube, and we had a few vehicles every now and again that somebody double sealed, left the old seal on, and when you start up, it just immediately just starts spraying everything. My oil filters, because I tend to notice oil filters loosening up over time, just engine vibration, so I always like to get it not too tight, but just nice and snug. You don't want to smash it down until as tight as you can, of course, but you know, more than just hand tight, because sometimes hand tight it can just vibrate loose on you, but as long as you're checking stuff regularly, you don't gotta worry about it. You just gotta keep looking at your stuff. Alright, we're gonna wipe that. You can see, you probably can't see, but on the bottom of this, it has kissed the ground a couple of times. Mainly probably going fast and over a little whoop, or possibly a speed bump, but I've done pretty, had to focus in there. I didn't want to over tighten that. But I want to get it moist and snug, as they say. Alright, there's that. Let me get any oil off my hands here. This light is so bright. I love these LED lights, but goodness gracious, are they bright. Alright. Of course my stand is crap. Alright, so we got our oil filter going on. This does have an oil cooler. Thankful that that's not leaking. Again, here's our scrapage. As you can see, another low point is this. And then looking down the vehicle, of course, rear end's on the ground. This is that overdrive unit that's behind the 4-speed transmission. So this is just a regular 4-speed H-pattern transmission. Right behind it is a overdrive that you can turn this overdrive on in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th gear. So it mainly provides a 5th gear overdrive for cruising, you know, 4th gear in overdrive, you know, 5th gear, quote unquote. But it is kind of cool. You can have it in 2nd and 3rd, and when you hit the throttle, it'll actually downshift out of, it'll shift out of the overdrive, and then so it's kind of a cool little launch thing, rolling launch type of thing. It's not a big deal. I mean, this thing is underpowered, but it does scoot, meaning it's so light, and it's a sports car. It still goes pretty good, but this thing can be way faster, is my point. Probably need to change that fuel filter. Fuel filter's basically brand new. I probably put 100 miles on this thing, if that, since I've gotten it back. Got 4 other vehicles, and just running insurance and registration on everything can get kind of expensive. And again, like I said, just taking care of the family and our other vehicles are a little bit more important than this one. All right. Okay, now we could probably get this thing off the ground. All right, but this little stand is kind of weird that I'm using. Okay. Might as well use this light. Alright, so I've got the oil filter on and tight. I've got the drain plug on and tight. I'm not doing anything else under here, so I'm just making sure I'm not like forgetting something that I was supposed to do. Over here. Got a bunch of oil and stuff to dump. Alright. Okay, so we are good to go. We've got, I'm gonna do some fresh oil in it. I'm really glad to be able to do this. This thing is starving for an oil change. I felt so bad every time I started it recently, which has only been a couple times. Let me take a quick look in front of this. I did have a water pump leak on this thing at first, but it seems like it's kind of slowed itself. I think it does still leak, but yeah, I got rust on my harmonic balancer, it looks like. So this thing needs a clutch, a water pump, have a new valve cover. I know one of the tie rod ends is loose. It needs all new brakes. I pad slapped it when I was getting it going, and it has noticeable diminished braking power. Noticeably diminished. All right, let me get this thing out of the way. It's got a kind of an air dam under there that's. I used to not be able to jack it up with a regular jack. All right. So I got our jack stands out. Okay. Let's bring this over here, huh? Really glad I got this GoPro. I've been trying to use it more, but it's just been a pain in the butt. It's so much easier to record on my phone. And then what I do is I create the video on iMovie, add the mute, that's where I add the audio to it. And then, see, do I even need that? I'll just leave that off, guys. I gotta get a couple of the wrap mounts where you can wrap it around stuff. I've got a couple of them before, but I got the cheap ones and they literally just, they basically are crap. Another thing I gotta look at is my ignition system. This is the old distributor cap off my plow truck, because last year I was running it and I noticed a misfire or something, and took off the distributor cap, and like one of the tangs was like busted or something. It was really weird. All right. Gonna get the old funnel here. It's the most exciting video in the world, I know. Let me tell you a little bit of the story of this thing. I've talked about it before in the first Corvette videos. It's been a long time since I try to do. I know this thing can potentially be the star of the show. You know what I'm talking about? But mainly the point of this channel is just recording what I'm fixing for myself, not others, and just sharing it in case it could help anybody. That's my main goal. This funnel is absolutely filthy. All right, let's do that. Just trying to see if it can help hold that thing up. All right, I'll just hold it myself. So this thing holds, normal Chevrolet 350 like this era holds about 5 quarts. This thing holds 6 because it has the oil cooler. But what I'm gonna do, so this one is what, 2 quarts? I'm gonna open up this new one. Oh, this isn't new, I've used it before. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm gonna make this simple because I don't wanna have to mess with the, okay. I'm basically making one of them full, so I don't have to do any math right now. Okay. That's probably a little bit more than 5 quarts. In retrospect, I probably should just put both these in there, but. All right. So anyways, My first vehicle was an 84 Chevrolet pickup. Inline 6-cylinder is the slowest thing in the world. I had wanted a 350 V8 so I could like modify it and stuff. I ended up getting that. And it kind of helped me probably because I probably saved a little money on stuff and probably kept myself out of some trouble, you know, not speeding around everywhere. But I went, long story short, I ended up picking this thing up. I was 18 years old. I got the inspiration because I went down to Colorado to see my brother's wedding. And I just was like, man, like this sucks. I need to make a change, you know, I need to do something. This is right after, I believe right after high school. Yeah, this is a year after high school. I graduated high school. And so yeah, I was 18. First vehicle I looked at was a 95 Camaro with automatic transmission. And I was just like, nah, this thing sucks. Had high mileage. I was like, this thing's whack. Then I saw this literally in the newspaper classifieds. I'm gonna let this sit probably for a little bit. And yeah, that's stuff on the handle. And it said 1984. It's an Edelbrock head. Everything I had always wanted, you know, had Edelbrock heads, a camshaft. It said it had a chip or something. I don't know. Kevlar clutch. I think it said it's like $8,700. And this thing had like low mileage, like 48,000. So I picked it up, had it for 3 years. I worked on it. Lots of stuff happened in that time frame. A lot of repairs that I did. We replaced the overdrive unit. We rebuilt the transmission. I had a bolt get loose inside the intake manifold, and it got stuck in number 8 intake valve, which I've shown before. I've got it right over there somewhere. Anyway, so to put a ton of money, a ton of time, finally sold it. Sold it to a guy who's like a used car salesperson. And basically, I think I sold it for $7,000, which wasn't too bad. I thought I definitely put a lot of work and a lot of money into it, but I had a lot of fun with it. So I was pretty excited about that price I got for it. Anyway, I didn't think anything of it. Years later, I'm down in Texas where I'd lived at the time, and I get my parents call me and say they got a letter that your vehicle is been sitting in an impound lot down about a couple hundred miles south of here. Let me do this, in fact. A couple hundred miles south of here, and let me get my other glove off. And if you wanted it back, all you got to do is pay some towing fees, because apparently when I sold it to the used car guy, he sold it to a guy who'd never transferred the title. And then apparently the thing got impounded in a drug bust, is what they tell us. And Dad went down there to look at it, and I'll show you the picture here. In order to do that, I'm gonna have to in fact, I'll just show it at the end. Is that cool? A picture of it. It was just sitting in this lot. The windows were cracked. We were thinking this thing was just rallied. I just pointed to the windows and I forgot I was pointing at myself. The windows were cracked, basically like, you know, open a little bit, so it was open to the elements. But we went down there, and you'll see the picture at the end of this video. And it looked pretty okay, and I think they charged him $800 or $900 for the towing fees. And suddenly I had my Corvette back. And of course my dad went down there for me. If I didn't have anybody up here to help, I wouldn't have been able to get the car back. Anyways, then I sold the car to my dad while I was down there because I needed the money for it because I had a full family starting. And then I moved up here, and first thing that Dad did is have me basically run through it, which are the videos that I've posted before. And the plan was to sell it. We had a couple people look at it. Nobody bought it, and so it just hung around. And then as I was working on it one day, and after watching Cletus McFarland and just the type of things, I was like, man, that'd be really cool to have my Corvette back. So I bought it back from Dad for a really good deal. I traded a bunch of work and then some cash. And ever since then, it's been mine again. It's almost been 3 years next year, probably, maybe two. And then, yeah, it's been waiting for a clutch. It's been waiting for what I've said. But I love taking care of it. It's got a lot of history. I've done some crazy things in this car. And in the future, I want to upgrade it and have it featured on this channel more, because it's just kind of a fun fun thing to do, you know, for YouTube, and just being able to film it and document. And of course, it's a unique car as it gets older. It's gonna be 40 years old here, excuse me, in 2024. This car is 1 year younger than I am. Good Lord. That means I'll be 41 in 2024. But anyways, guys, I am gonna get it started here. Let me go grab, in fact, I don't have the key with me. Let me switch to a different scene here. I'm gonna go get the keys. I'm gonna start it up really quick to get the oil circulating, just so I could check the oil and make sure it's all full, and then I'll probably wrap it up for the night. So thanks for watching, and again, at the very end of the video, I will show a picture of what the Corvette looked like when it was sitting in the junkyard lot. So over and out. I'm going to hook up this battery terminal. Got everything closed. I'm assuming this battery has some juice in it. I've kept it disconnected. It's a good battery. I've got several batteries that are getting old around the fleet here, but this should fire things up for us. Let me turn my heater off. By the way, future metal melts going on right here. Look at this copper I have. It's freaking nuts. Got that from a friend. All right. These are tires for the van, the minivan. I ordered these off Amazon for like $68 a piece. Free delivery. And they're just normal size tires, but I thought that was pretty crazy. All right, we got good lights. Let's test our horn. Maybe my horn doesn't work actually. All right, we got a good dash lights. And all I really need to do is crank it. I almost just want to do that. It's not gonna want to start without my yeah, it doesn't want to run without me holding the throttle, so I'm gonna stop here. There you go. Oh, there we go. Switch is getting worn out. As you can see, nice little. Ooh, yeah, this battery's a little bit low. Everything is kind of low in this thing. All right, that's all I'm gonna do here. Let me. See, look at all the. Look at this. Was just. That's oil probably from it sitting. I probably should get this thing running. I'll do that tomorrow. I need to get it outside and get it warmed up. All I wanted to do tonight was just get the oil changed. Get this battery unhooked. I got a huge hazy mess inside my garage now. Come on, baby. Come on. All right, there we go. So I need to get the charger on this. Let me open up this other door. Losing all my heat, but yeah, what I'll do. Plow truck. We'll get it running tomorrow, get it moved around, and then what I'm gearing up for is that we're gonna do the head gaskets on this thing, probably the timing belt at the same time. And still working out the issue with this plow blade not wanting to angle left, so it's kind of a pain in the butt. But these are those wood blocks I was telling you about. They're pretty big. They're old railroad ties. But all right, that's pretty cleared out. Trying to do a little better filming here, just bring you guys along. All right. Okay, now we can get this turned back on. 40. Yeah, guys, I got all kinds of good stuff here. Brass to melt. It's just fun. I just like melting metal. And I have my little stockpile of aluminum, copper, and brass starting to form up for no real reason. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and check the oil. I guess I'll bring you guys along. This will be a nice big old long YouTube video of just something boring. All right, whoops. Yeah, again, I probably should just disconnected the, well, it takes a while for the oil pressure to build just by cranking. All right, we're about halfway there. Oh, it's looking tons better. This engine is probably really thankful. That old oil was getting so thin, I would imagine it's just super easy for it to get through these old seals. Just gonna dump all this in, like I said, it's pretty much 6 quarts. I would've just thought about it for a minute. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna get this thing topped off. I appreciate you, whoops. Oh, appreciate you watching, and as I spill oil everywhere. God darn it. I messed up my slick outro, guys. All right, I'm glad I didn't knock over the GoPro. It did hit it. Not that it would have mattered, I just didn't want to get oil on it. Okay, we're good to go. Oil on the track. All right, guys, I'm just gonna let this kind of drizzle out as much as I can out of this bad boy. Hope you guys had a happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and hope you and your family are doing well with this crazy year we have going here. But talk to y'all soon. Appreciate you watching. And here's that picture of the Corvette in the junkyard lot. And maybe I can find some other pictures of it back in the day. Probably won't, because I'd have to look on my computer and do a bunch of stuff. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Over and out.